Hey, this is the intro for my videos now. Subscribe, leave a like, a comment. Thank you very much. On to the video. Hello everyone, I'm going to be reviewing The Catcher in the Rye. Very interesting book. I personally do not read all the time. I actually don't read at all. I just recently started reading last year, I believe. Not 2020, 2019. And it brings a lot of perspective into your life, which is why I wanted to push myself to read more, and I did not. But I got to finish another book that I might review, but I got to finish The Catcher in the Rye because honestly I just like the art on the cover. That's really the only reason I bought it. But let's just get right into the review. I don't have like a list of things. I just have things out of the top of my brainsicles that I liked about the book, and it didn't really impact me that much because it is a coming of age story, and I heard a lot of people like it. It's like a classical. Look, I'm not really into reading, so please don't judge me too hard. I'm new into reading. I don't know like the good books, the bad books, the classicals, whatever. Okay, I'm just, if you want more stuff into that, go somewhere else. I'm doing my little reviews, okay? And hopefully you'll like the book and maybe purchase it yourself, you know? And I'm just going to do a surface level. I don't want to spoil it. If there are things that I'm going to get into, it'll probably be later in the video, and I'll be like, oh, spoiler alert, like I'm going to talk about some stuff even though I don't really, whatever, okay? But no spoilers right now. So, yeah, it's a coming of age story of this kid named Holden Caulfield. I'm just going to call him Caulfield. Holden Caulfield. And he's 16, and he starts off by talking about how he got in a certain situation, and yeah, it puts him at a high school. I think it's a high school called Pensy, and he gets into an altercation and decides to leave, and that's all I'm gonna say. That might have been a spoiler, but that's literally at the beginning of the book, and he decides to leave, and that's when his coming of age story kind of starts. I kind of lost myself in because I kind of figured it was a coming of age story, and but I never really got what the book was trying to get across. There was a lot of topics, about like not his sexuality per se, but like nothing sexual ever happened in the book, but there were parts where he was thinking, he had sexual things in his mind, and those parts were more like they didn't really lead anywhere. It was more like of the struggles of like young people and like them having these thoughts in their mind, I guess, or like these urges, and then but that was mostly like I would say from the beginning to halfway is the book, and then he does go on like a date. I'm not gonna say with who, but he goes on a date, and you'll see what happens when you read it. And then it talks about there's foul language in the book, and I'm just basing off the things where I'm like, because I saw some reviews and they were talking about how like the book was kind of controversial just because sexual things, and the foul language, smoking. There's smoking cigarettes in the book. What else? I don't know, his religious stance. I guess it would be controversial. For me, it was just, I didn't get much from the book, and I think it's because it's mostly meant for like people who are younger, like like people who are struggling with their emotions when they're young. And by emotions, I mean like they feel like they don't fit in, they feel alienated, and I don't know. I feel like I've kind of left that chapter in my life where I feel alienated. I did when I was younger, which was like a year or two ago, that it ended. And if you feel alienated, but you're not like in high school, it doesn't matter. Like this book just talks about he's kind of alienated throughout the whole book. For like I guess he disassociates from the world. He's always judging everything, and people didn't like that about the book because some people didn't like that about the book because he's very judgmental towards like everybody pretty much. And that's, for me, I was kind of a battle reading the book because it's kind of like when you talk to somebody and they're just judging everybody or like everything, like you go talk to somebody and like yeah, you might judge somebody in your head, you know, like, oh yeah, whatever, but you don't mention it. But you have that one friend, you go along, right, and you meet this person, and then you guys walking away, and he's like, oh, that person was like such a blah, blah. He mentions phony a lot, okay? People being phony. And so yeah, it's like somebody being like, oh, that person was so phony, you saw how they were acting, blah 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 blah. Like, that's what Calfield is like. He's very judgmental. And I feel like a lot of kids are, you know? And he's very, very judgmental. For some people it's like they don't really mind, you know? And but for him he's very judgmental. It's mentioned phonies in the book a lot of times. I forget how many times it's in the book. So there was like some review that mentioned it, and yeah, that kind of stumped me sometimes. And but there are moments in the book where it's like there's actual good conversations going on between Calfield and people who are a little bit more stable in life, because he himself, he's not stable throughout the whole book, and which makes for an interesting book for somebody who, I guess, it's not in a stable life as well, because you have something to relate to, something to be like, oh, like, you know, like somebody else could be going through this as well if it's like a character in a book, you know, even if it's just a character in a book. I think that's why books are very important, because there are fictional, is that fictional? Yeah, fictional characters that have similar problems, and by reading, sorry, I burped, and by reading the book, you gain their experiences almost, even though it's in the book it's kind of outlandish. Like I'm pretty sure there's young people that go through the stuff that he went through, but it's more out there, I guess. And but by reading it, I feel for a young person you would get like a feeling of empowerment, like oh, like he got through it, I can get through it, you know. And let's see what else is in the book. That's pretty much, or like finding what you want to do too. Like throughout the whole book, he does not know what he wants to do, and that's kind of like the thing. There's like a topic about that. There's also things about like I'm pretty sure there's other important things in the book that I did not catch, but I myself, I didn't feel like going more into it. I kind of liked it just to have a read, you know. That's why I read it. And yeah, the only thing that I guess that I didn't like was, you know, he would be ongoing about topics. Every now and then he would bring stuff up again, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, here we go again, another rant about this topic. Or certain things he would say over and over throughout the whole book, which were kind of annoying for myself. But I guess the writer wanted to be more like, you know, for certain words he wanted to like cement it more in like your brain, that like that was important for the writer, so that's why he mentioned it over and over. And for myself, I really liked the writing. It wasn't, well, I don't know about grammar or everything, but it wasn't like something like studious, I guess, or like it wasn't something like a beginner like me wouldn't be able to understand, you know, like some books are. And I mainly started reading just so I could, you know, get bigger vocabulary. And you know, the book's not very hard in vocabulary. It's pretty easy, I would say, because I guess I don't know if it's just for myself or it would be hard, but I'm saying I don't have a good vocabulary, and this book was okay to read for me. So, and yeah, and I'm hoping you guys give it a shot. Honestly, if you know, you're having trouble, you know, finding your way in life, give this book a read, because you know, it puts things into perspective of just how like how important you can make, like the most important thing in life is like yourself, you know, like, or in the people around you, like. And in the book it kind of focuses on that, you know, like he really wants to like, but he focuses on himself a little bit too much, you know. So I think this is a good read just so you can, you know, have something to be like, you know, everybody feels alienated at some point, and why not, you know, some people can be very judgmental towards you, and that makes you yourself like, you know, feel alienated and then judge everybody else, push people away, like oh, like these people are being so fake, phony, whatever word you want to use. And there's it's just a good story, and it makes you realize that, you know, people that you might have conflict with sometimes, at the end of the day you might still be friends with them. Oh, actually, that's a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, editor, please. Because he does have conflict with people in the beginning, and at the end he goes, you know, like, oh, well, talking about them, you know, made me miss them. And that's the only thing I'm gonna say. Oh, actually, editor, please, go back and put spoiler alert. Put this what I'm saying right now. Spoiler alert. Yeah. At the end of the book, he says that talking about people from his past, makes them want to miss. He makes that want to talking about people in his past makes him miss them. I hope you understood what I just said, and yeah, it's a good book. The end almost made me cry, but I'm a very emotional crybaby person, so it might not make you want to cry. It's a good book. I would really recommend it. If you have a lot of patience and are just getting into reading. Actually, you don't need that much patience, but if you're just getting into reading, I would really recommend this book. I really enjoyed it at the end of the day. I thought I wasn't gonna, I was kind of reading it, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna enjoy it, but every single day, there'd be days where I'm like, oh, I want to get over this part, but there'd be days where like, oh, I wish I could read more about this, and yeah, it's definitely and ups and downs for me on this book. Maybe for you it could be a definitely different experience, but that's why I'm telling you, not read the book, but if you want to read the book, I would definitely recommend it. And tell me in the comments what you think, if you've read the book before, like for school or something, because it's classical. I'm not too sure about these things. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Kind of just went on a rant, I guess. Give the book a try, and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, share this video. I don't know, do whatever you want to do. What are you waiting for? The video's over. I'm not gonna do anything crazy unless you want me to. I'll do something crazy. Okay, I'm just being dumb now. Alright, click off this video. What are you still doing?